Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Cook Shack. Sunday afternoon. I promise not to try to get into my shoulder or my backside into this picture here too much, but when you're working with, I'm happy with the size of the oven inside, but diameter up front, it inhibits me from doing what I want to do sometime. But here's what we got today. We got a picanha here on a skewer. I've already put it right back into the fire here. Let me put it back in here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm cooking right over the hot coals in the back. Put a little fire to it. I like doing that to my meat. So I know it's very aggressive, but this is what we do sometimes. I like that fat rendered down quite well, and also makes for a real good taste. I like the crunch. Take a look at that. We hadn't done anything to the backside yet. Let's put a little bit on the backside here. There we go. If you can see that, she's right in there. Got a good fire going today. I usually start my fire sometimes to speed up the process with lump charcoal. It works really good. I got some briquettes that are about oh mercy, they're probably big around your arm, and they burnt for a long time. That's a good thing. Back here making some noise. I'm looking for some gloves. So let's pull this baby out of here. I don't want to get too aggressive. Oh yeah. That's what we got. Hydrate it a little bit. I'm using a grapeseed oil. It has a real high flash point. Let's see what that looks like. Here a couple weeks ago I viewed a video and didn't realize that the damn camera settings were way off, and I mean, I had the lights out here and everything else, and you still couldn't even see the picture. I got that all straightened out. Cooked up some potatoes in the oven here earlier. Let's do this. Let's control the situation right here. That's all you got to do. Take your meat out. Take your little poker here. Let that burn off. Okay, just let that fuel just burn. Just burn down to nothing. Oh, it just takes a little bit. Move some of your coals out of the way, like we're doing here. If we need them, we can put some more back under here. I think we can smother that right out. We'll have some good crunch to this meat. Yeah. Put the fat side back down in here. Here, sizzle. Yes, sir. That's that little fat calf. This is a skewer that I made. I used to have a Carson Redizio rotisserie system. I think it held, I think, 8 skewers or 6 skewers, but they're great. The only thing about them is you got to figure out how to clean them. Best way to do that is get you a 5-gallon bucket and take your skewers and put you a little Dawn and some water and shake it up. Stir it up with your hand and just let those skewers set in there all overnight and get you some bird baby. Yeah, man. You're gonna have some crunch. I like that. It's gonna be good. Just let that burn down just a little bit and we're gonna be okay. But anyway, I've made some videos some years back, not that many years back, 6 or 7 years ago, with using a Carson Redizio. It's a lot of fun. You can cook for 4 or 6 people, really easy on that thing, and like I said, the cleanup on it's the only thing. But if you do like I told you, I figured out every trick on cleaning something easy. I'm going to pass it on. And if you ever get you one of those things, remember what I told you. A little Dawn and some water, and let your skewers soak overnight. I got some skewers that's got like multiple, it's got 8 and 9 prongs on it. You can put all kind of veggies on it, and fruits and stuff like that too. We do cook fruits and stuff like, we're going to get into more of that later on cooking fruits and big thick slices of green tomatoes and stuff like that. Some good eating. Yeah, take a look at that. Yeah. I was going to use some tongs, but I said I'm not going to burn the hair off my knuckles anymore. It gets real sensitive if you put a lot of heat to them. It won't hurt a thing. You can get about as aggressive as you want with like what I'm doing, and it won't hurt anything at all. Of course, Al Fragoni was down in South Texas and see this, he'd be freaking out right now. He likes cooking over embers. Hell, I do too, but I like mixing it up every now and then. Those point that I'm trying to make is I eat my meat more on a rare side, so I can, the texture of it, so I can actually taste it, because I don't really have any saliva in my mouth. So this way I won't choke on it. It's nice and moist. And then when I finish cooking this, I picked up a food warmer, holds them 180 degrees to, gosh, like plus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It's great. I use it, actually I dehydrated some, made some jerky in it. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, sir. Next time I'm going to use a grill grade and put some longer carriage bolts in it to raise it up about 6 or 8 inches. That's all. Oh man, we're gonna have a good crunch on this meat. Yes, sir. Let that grease burn down a little bit. Just for the hell of it. I'm curious. Let's get the old meat probe here. Yeah, we got a ways to go. If all that fire and everything like this, we're on about like, we're at about, well, that part right there, I'd consider pulling that. It's 94 degrees on that side. So when you're cooking a piece like this on a skewer, or when you're flipping it with tongs, whether you're cooking inside of a wood-fired oven or not, your meat, especially on picanha or tri-tip, is, you know, you got the high areas on the ridge and the top part and the bottom. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, where you understand me, is the meat's thicker and more thinner on the sides, so you got to keep flipping this stuff. Okay, flip, flip, flip. Just especially on a tri-tip steak. She's coming along here pretty good. I like that. That's going to be some real good flavor, folks. Really good. Let's hydrate this a little bit with some grapeseed oil. It's got a high flash point. I use that a lot. You don't get that funky taste when you put the fire to it, like you do on olive oil. I don't care how expensive the olive oil is. You get a funky taste to it if you put a lot of heat to it. See what I mean about controlling your fire, your embers and stuff like this? Is that fat tap dripping down on those embers, you're going to have a flare up, and I just showed you how to control that. Just takes nothing wrong with pulling your meat out. She's flaming up again a little bit too, which is okay. We got some time here. Not going to hurt nothing. Internal temperature of that meat, well, we're okay. Here we can abuse this thing here a little bit. It's not going to hurt anything. Then I'm going to take it off and I'm going to put it in that food warmer. Before I do that, I'm going to make a cut here in a little bit and let you see the meat. If you can see that or not, let me get a close-up shot. I like it charred real good. That way, that's the only thing that can really excite my taste buds is that meat. And then, well, I got this scored here. See that cut on the back side? That's an indicator right there. Now I want to cut against this way. That's the reason that I put this cut in here sometimes, that somebody, and it's, you know, strictly just for education. You see the grains in the meat right here? I'm going to take a chance on you seeing this. Going north and south, you will cut this way across that, and that way it'll be tender. I had a couple people call, hey man, I met a couple people in a grocery store, and they started carrying picanha, and they said, how where you cook this? And I told them, and the guy couldn't remember everything. So I saw him, I saw one guy this morning, I saw another guy about 2 weeks ago. He said, man, that piece of meat was tough. And I said, how do you cut it? And I had a picanha in my hand. And he showed me he cut it the other opposite direction. He says it was kind of chewy, but it had a lot of flavor to it. And I said, well, you cut it the wrong way. Let's take another little temperature test. Yeah, it's showing me a lot right there. It'd be nice if I had didn't have this thing set on Celsius, which I did. You know what, I'm happy with this just the way it is. I'm gonna do a cut on this thing here for you and let you take a look at it. Okay? I don't know if you can see that or not here. Let me back over here on the camera. I'm kind of like an octopus. There we go. You remember now all the abuse that I gave that piece of meat a while ago with all that fire. I want you to take a look at this, and this is the way I like it. By the time I warm it up a couple times, and I'm gonna slice this in pieces about maybe a little thicker than this. Then I'll cut back this way. But I want you to take a look at this. See that? And I mean, I'll sock the fire to this thing, as you can see. If you keep flipping like I told you, you're not gonna hurt anything. You get pretty aggressive with that piece of meat. Or you can cook it over embers and cook it a long time. But this is the way, and it'll be nice and tender as well too. This whole thing is like that. Here, let's do this. I want you to see this. Look at that piece of meat. All right. And that's the fat cap right there. And don't that look good? All right, folks. For Sunday afternoon, meat on the skewer. Little potatoes. I don't understand. Hadn't figured this out. The smaller potatoes, the more expensive they are. How about that? That's a given. But today's world we live in. I remember as a kid growing up, you used to take a hoe in a garden, hoe those things up, and have a couple of your cousins on the other end of the row. We'd take these things and throw them at each other. I used to take mine and dip them in some water and get them wet and pop my cousin in the back of the head with them. They'd bounce off. But thanks for putting up with me today. I wanted to show you this. I know I did a lot of talking here. Just my mistakes I made years ago is hopefully that you'll pick up on some of these things that I'm showing you and save you a lot of aggravation, because the cost of meat is very expensive. And there's no need is a sin. That's about like putting ketchup on a steak. You know, of course, I've seen idiots do that before too. That's for the crazy ones, you know. But thanks a lot, and I almost feel bad that I don't have another piece of meat to put back there in that oven. It's what a fire we got going today. I'm telling you. Now I could have, like I said here, I told you I'm gonna leave. I lied to you. Here's what I want to show you something. Bear with me. We'll shut the door here on this oven. I got a damper on this thing. I got a damper up here. Say I got a bed of embers that I'm cooking off of a grill grate in there. I can choke this thing down and I can roast something all day long with minimum smoke coming out of the top of the chimney. I can throttle it down. I can throttle the air intake down right here with this little damper. Or sometimes I'll tell you what I can do. I can just leave that door open right there. That's all you got to do, and you can cook a nice piece of meat in there, or roast anything you want to, or any kind of dish. You put it in there in a nice foil pan and put a little bit of tin foil on it, protect it from the heat, and man, you can cook something to it to fall apart in there. I like to do a duck. I'm not a really fan of eating duck, but my son is. And maybe do some lamb leg, or you do anything you want to do in there, because like I said, I'm happy with the size of the oven. But right here, when you're working right here, it makes it kind of hard, and sometimes I don't realize that because I don't have one of those chesty cameras on the front of my chest. And I've learned to back off a little bit from the heat when you're doing that too. Even the most expensive cameras, if you're up in here, you know, moving some meat around and taking stuff in and out of the oven. But I have some, in the past 3 months, I bought a real nice bunch of cast iron. I wanted to save the cast iron that I have and probably give it to my kid. I got some cast iron pots in there that are probably 150 years old, if not older. They're well seasoned, but I bought a line of Finex, Finex pots with the stainless steel no touch handle on them. I like those, and I bought a big 12-inch pan for my son. But folks, I'm out of here this time, I promise. All the best. Have a good one. You know, I'm gonna have a good meal this afternoon, and I do have some okra that I've already cooked up, and I'm gonna take those potatoes and mash them up and put some gravy over them, and some sweet peas. So we got some cut okra, we got sweet peas, we'll have mashed potatoes and gravy, and that's gonna be good with that picanha, and we're gonna enjoy. And now that I've told you all this, go out and cook you a piece of meat. Have a good one. Thank you. Till next time.